everybody, Basilray from VapeTV.com, and today we're going to take a look at this. This is the Legacy from PureSmoker, which currently I have, fitted out with a Bella Cardo tank. So, the Legacy from PureSmoker is a mechanical mod made out of stainless steel with the kind of media blasted finish here, and it is 100% mechanical. It is designed to accommodate an 18650 battery or an 18490 plus the kick. Now, at some point, there is going to be an extra body tube. I don't believe it's available yet. That will accommodate an 18650 plus a kick. For those of you that are looking for a little bit better battery life, for some of the real extreme heavy vapors, or people who just hate charging batteries. So this device is weighted very well. Again, it is made out of stainless steel. It's incredibly compact considering that it is enough to hold an 18650. I can pretty much, if I close this up, engulf this completely in my, medium-sized hand. There isn't a whole lot left to see here in that form factor. So I'm going to slap this cartomizer tank back on. Now, currently, I do have the kick fitted in here with an 18490, and I've got it cranked up to 10 watts. This is about a 3 ohm Bose 510 cartomizer in a cartomizer tank here. Rock solid performance, pretty good price per value. Let's take a closer look. Let's just see how the switch fits together, how the top cap goes in, battery configurations. We'll do a little testing. Alright, so here we are. I've got the Pro Vari in with the 18490, the regular cap, next to the Legacy, and they are pretty much exactly the same size. The only real difference is the circumference a little bit greater all around on the Pro Vari. But enough about that. Let's look at the Legacy. So right now, I do have the button locked. You can see this little knob sticking out here, out the bottom. Simply spin it counterclockwise, and now we're ready to fire. Got a nice, smooth, springy action here. Doesn't take a lot of pressure, so if you're worried about this being mechanical and what that means for your grip strength or lack of pinky strength, you should be just fine. So here's the switch mechanism. And this separates into a few pieces. It's all stainless steel with a brass contact post, a spring, and some Delrin pieces. Really easy to do. Just took me a minute to figure out exactly how it all fit together. So let me show you. The top cap is Delrin, and this is actually what sits against the bottom of the battery. So the battery sits on top of this. It's important that it is non-conductive because this is actually your contact post. We'll take a closer look here. So then the spring doesn't really matter if it's a hot spring or just a regular metal spring, coated. It really doesn't make much of a difference because that never makes actual contact. So then on this Delrin base piece here, there is some notching where the spring actually sits. And if you kind of press it, spin it just a little bit, it'll snap into place. So brass contact screw, you do get, looks like a pair of extra ones with it. At least I got 2 in my little baggie. Let's go ahead and take this out. Just using a small eyeglasses screwdriver to do so. Then underneath the base, I have 3 washers stacked up, which came with it. And that's to accommodate the AW battery size. AW batteries run a little bit different than some others, so I've got 3 stacked up washers. But here's the Delrin base piece, and that holds the washers in place to the bottom cap. So then let me set those over here. The bottom cap really is about 3 pieces. So there's the actual piece that threads onto the bottom of the device with some very large battery venting holes here. And then you have the switch mechanism, which really disassembles into 2 pieces. You can unscrew this completely. So there's kind of a center post here, and based on this screwing and unscrewing, if I can get it to go smoothly, this is how the button locks and unlocks. So we'll put it all back together in reverse order. Make sure the threads here for this bottom cap sit up top. Then how I like to do it, seems to work best, is I take the Delrin base, kind of line it up here, put the contact screw through it, and then push the washers on the end. So when you do this, you want this nub here, or kind of center pole for the contact to be on top. It is important to note that if you put the washers on top of the Delrin base piece, you are going to have a really lousy experience, as I found out the hard way. I just wasn't paying attention, did that right when I got it out of the box to adjust it. And what will happen is that the spring motion here is going to bind and catch if the washers are up here. So the spring then is going to get gently kind of pushed on here, and if you give it a little spin, you should kind of hear it click into place. Then the same thing with the top cap, so the top cap is grooved. Line it up, give it a little press and twist, and you're all set. So this bottom piece actually sits against the battery, and then this is what gives it its springiness. So it works really pretty well. Let me pop the battery out here. So we'll put this back on the bottom. And again, screw it up top by turning it clockwise to lock, and the other way to unlock. But with no battery in, you get no spring action. We'll slide the battery back in here. Actually, we're going to leave it out for a second. So then let's take a quick look at the top cap. The top cap does have an adjustable center brass contact here. Again, just a small flathead screwdriver like from an eyeglasses kit. You can adjust that, and you get some extra ones. I had to bring mine up just about half a turn to make solid contact with my cartomizers. So the adapter here should be user serviceable and replaceable as well, which is a really nice touch. I think it's really important whenever you have a mechanical device. So in the tube right now, I have the kick, which I'm going to pull out. Fits in here nicely, a little snug, which is okay. Come out. There we go. So there's the kick. The main body housing, they are going to be coming out with a version that is long enough to accommodate an 18650 plus a kick on top. Right now, you're stuck with the 18650 size or the 18490 with the kick in this tube. But I'm okay with that. It's got kind of a nice grooving here. Feels really good in the hand. I really like this matte or media blasted finish. You know, it's got a little bit of a semi-gloss, very smooth, very grippy. Feels real nice. So let's essentially start reassembling. Going to put on the bottom switch. And for our initial testing, we are going to drop in a 2000 milliamp hour AW18650. It's mainly charged, not 100%, but close enough. And then the top cap. So it's all going to screw on. We're assembled. We're ready to rock. Let's go to some picture-in-picture action here. And we'll start by checking the unloaded voltage, and then we'll test it loaded up with my Cardo tank here, which I've been using on this a lot. So 18650 unloaded. Right now, sitting at about 4.1. So not quite fresh off the charger, but pretty darn close. So here is a 2.2 ohm cartomizer, and I'll show you that here. Give me 1 second to spin this. Here's a big, nice shot of my big fat hand. 2.5 minus 0.3 of an ohm in my test leads, 2.2. We will go back to voltage here, and let's see what we get. 3.88, about 3.88, 3.9 loaded, which is pretty solid, especially for a mechanical device with no regulation, right? So let's add a 1.5 ohm 510 here. And we're going to get about 3.8, which is generally about the top end you're going to get with no regulation and an 18650 inside. So now we disassemble, and we are going to toss in the kick and an 18490. So battery in, kick in. Now the kick little loop here may catch a bit on the threads, but they're pretty beefy, so it's usually not too bad. So snaps right in. Top cap's going to go back on. And this is a really nice combination, I find. It's kind of like these two were meant to be together forever. So there we have it. Let's show you the high end of things here. So I'll grab that Cardo tank, which is about 2.2 ohms we determined. And we will check this out under load with the kick, just to show you everything is working and working well. There you go, 4.89, right on the nose. Check it out, 4.89, and that's going to give us our 10-watt combination. Really like this setup here with the kicked and using about a 2.2 ohm Cardo. I'll run it a little bit higher sometimes on the Pro Vari, maybe all the way up to 5 volts if I can get it to do that. But I find this to be a really, really nice vape. So overall, the Legacy from PureSmoker is a whole lot of win. It's the first PureSmoker device I've ever had, and I really like it. I think it's a great value for the price point. And if you're in the in the running for a mechanical mod, especially, or even just a tube mod to use the kick in with an 18490, I don't know how you could possibly go wrong with this setup. Really like it. There's enough safety feature here. It's all mechanical, and it's really solid. This is not going to go away anytime soon. There you have it. This is a look at the Legacy from PureSmoker. I really like this. I think this is a pretty solid device. Really good cost in terms of what you get and comparable devices. So the direct competitors for this, I would assume, are going to be the Omega and the Precise from Super T. Now, the button does lock, which is a fantastic feature. You don't necessarily have that, at least on the old Precises you did, and I do think you do have that on the Precise Plus, but the price, completely different pricing model. Now, you don't maybe have the fancy rhodium contacts, but you do have brass contacts. It's all user adjustable and replaceable and serviceable. Great ventilation out of the bottom of the switch. Feels great in the hand. I really, really like this media blasted finish. It's got just kind of a slight, almost semi-gloss look to it. You would think that, sounding like media blast, it sounds like it would be really gritty, but it is really smooth. Feels great in the hand. Great weight to device kind of size ratio. And coming in right at about $88, this is a pretty solid value. This or the Silver Bullet, I guess it's a better comparison to the Omega, as the Omega is mechanical, whereas the Silver Bullet does have an electronic switch. I've never used an Omega, but I've got to imagine that this is at least in the same class, if not a step up. I do like the connector here. The connector is adjustable, and you can service the adapter yourself, which is a really nice touch, rather than having to send it back to someone. Works great both, with a kick and without a kick. Holds its own there. About 3.8 under load, 1.5 ohm atomizer with an 18650, and of course you're going to get that kind of 10 wattage combo when you regulate with the kick. Battery life is going to be as good as the battery is, or the kick, voltage combination. You're going to have those constraints. There's nothing really new there, but for a modestly priced mechanical stainless steel tube mod, I really like this. This is one I'm not letting go of anytime soon. So there you have it. If you are interested in this, head on over to PureSmoker.com. I ordered it, received it really quickly, so it got shipped out promptly, all that good stuff. And kudos to PureSmoker. This is my first PureSmoker device. I almost pulled the trigger on an Icon a couple of times. I just never got around to it, and now I kind of wish I had. Really enjoying the Legacy. I think there's a good chance you will too. Catch me Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, VapeTVLive.com. Of course, Facebook.com/Basilray, Twitter.com/Basilray, or @Basilray, and the Basil phone, 612-293-6405. Until we see each other again, please, my friends, take care, sub up, and vape.